even know. I don't even know if I remember how to do this. We shall find out, right? Hey y'all, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane and today is July 24th, 2019. It is a Wednesday. I feel like I am the most relaxed I've been in months. I'm coming to you post all of my big summer travel shows and heading into about 5 weeks of no travel, which feels amazingly luxurious. I love traveling, but there has been quite a lot of it this year. So I'm happy to be home and being able to focus on putting yarn in the shop for everybody. It's so exciting. So I'm looking at very, very, very full shelves right now with yarn that is just getting loaded up into the shop right now. So more about that at the end, but I am just so happy to be chatting with you. It has been quite a long time. I want to start off first with finished objects, of course. So I think that the only thing that I have finished since the last time we podcasted, and it's quite a big finish. It's literally folded like a blanket because that's basically what it is. But I finished my Plumpie shawl. This thing is enormous. It is huge. So way bigger than I thought it would be, which is kind of crazy. So it is finished and blocked, and I haven't worn it yet because today's actually pretty great. Okay, here we go. I have it up at my shoulders right now and it's below my belly button. It's so big. That's what she said. This is going to be like the most amazing shawl blanket ever. The wool wash that I washed it in is some that I purchased last year, and it's kind of like this musky, yummy, warm scent. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Anyway, so this is Plumpy by Andrea Mowry. I knit it out of DK weight yarn on some needles that made it enormous when it was blocked out. I didn't even pin this out, you guys. All I did was just lay it out and just sort of straighten the edges. So there was no pinning, there was no stretching, there was nothing to make it bigger than it already was going to be. So the yarn that I used, let's talk about that. This first color right here is Hedgehog Fibers Gossip in the DK base. The second main color is this one right here, this kind of medium toned pink, which is Rose Hip, also Hedgehog. And the third color is this one, lighter peach with the speckles, and that is Sorbet. So the three pinky peach colors are all Hedgehog, and then the contrast color, which runs along the back, let's find a section that's the easiest to see it in. Right here. That kind of green, scummy green color that runs throughout the whole thing is Woolen Boon. Yeah, here you can see it right here. Really nicely. That is Woolen Boon, Accidentally in Love, also on the DK weight base. I used like well over 550 grams worth of yarn. So much yarn. Seriously, this is just going to be like the thing that I don't even know if I could ever wear this out without it just looking like a blanket. It's so huge. I loved knitting every single stitch. This will, like I said, it will probably live as my nighttime shawl or my couch shawl, my weekend shawl, just things to keep me warm when I'm sitting at home. If you will remember from my Instagram, or if you do follow me on Instagram, I talked about how I ran out of this color, the dark pinky purple, and I just had like two more rows left or something. So I had the only main color that I had some left of was this middle pink. And so I just used that for the end. Honestly, when this thing is wrapped around, I don't think you can tell at all. It doesn't feel like drastically out of place to me. So I love it. I think that's a great, I felt like the right solution to me. So Plumpy is done. I am so excited about that. I just was going back and kind of organizing my Ravelry page, my project pages. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Super annoying. I was organizing my project pages, and I'm sorry, you guys. I'll have to edit this out. Okay, I think that got it. I was going through my projects, and the last 3 projects that I have finished have all been Andrea Mowry projects, and I have finished 4 this year because I knit that sweater. So it's definitely kind of like my own little version of Stacy of Stress Knits, the year of Andrea. But it was totally unintentional. I just really enjoy her patterns and her designs. Yeah, so Plumpy is done, and it is now, this does not get to be a sample. I had so many people that wanted to see it at SSK, and I was like, well, I'm really sorry, but it's not any Suburban Stitcher yarn, so I didn't even think to bring it. But yeah, so this is just a really fun, very self-indulgent knit that I've just finished and I love. And if you are looking to knit one, I have Sport and DK in my shop right now and would absolutely love to help you pick out colors for your own version. I think that would be super fun. So if you are wanting help, want to knit it in Suburban Stitcher yarn, we can come up with similar colors or something totally different. So that is Plumpy. And that's it for finished objects. Okay, so works in progress. It's been a month. I have traveled a lot. I've worked on a lot of things. So we'll just go through them. The one thing that I've worked on, and it is, I'm procrastinating doing this. I don't know why. I should not be procrastinating because it literally would take me a day and I would be done with this project. But I have finished my sock tubes for my mustache apple picking socks. This is mustache yarn, apple picking colorway. You can see that it's a beautiful, like multi-tonal stripe and then a gray stripe. So when I say I've finished the sock tube, that means that I cast on for the toes, knit a plain tube with no heels, just plain in the round for, I don't know how long. I go by repeats. So I knit like 6.5 repeats of the stripes, I think. And then I did a little repeat and a little bit on the cuff. And I'm very pleased with how it looks. They match almost like 3 stitches off probably. So they just need me to cut in the heels, and that involves me getting an old sock that I've knit before, measuring where I cut in the heels, and then doing it. So I just have to do it. And I really, really need to, because I have already caked up my next skein of sock yarn that I will be using to knit my next pair of travel vanilla socks. So I really need to get that going. Okay, so I worked on my Deshane top, which is a pattern by, is it Layla Robb, I believe? If that is right, I just pulled that out of the depths of my brain. Layla Robb, that's amazing. So Deshane is knit out of Kestrel by Quince & Company, and I have finished the front. So here is the front panel. It seems huge, but remember it has a drop sleeve. So it also seems very short, and I'm hoping that blocking gives it a little bit of length, because that is pretty short. So here it is. Here's the front. The back is, I'm pretty sure, just plain stockinette, and I just haven't cast it on yet. So gotta get going on that. That is Deshane. I'm loving the yarn, actually. I wasn't sure if I would like the yarn, but it is quite nice to knit with. Oh, that has the sticker on there. But anyway, it is Kestrel by Quince & Company, and the colorway that I'm using is Anemone. And it's a really pretty deep coral, slightly pink, but mostly orangey coral. And so I think that's going to be really great to wear over all my linen dresses, and I can't wait. Also with jeans, like over a tank and with jeans, or there's just, I feel like it's going to be such a great garment to have in my wardrobe. So I really, maybe I should do that this week. This next week needs to be doing the things that I've been putting off. Okay, so next up, I got to as far as I could get on my spring cleaning shawl. This is a pattern by Stephen West. It is designed to use up scraps and all the little bits and bobs of leftovers. That's why it's called spring cleaning, when you're cleaning out your yarn room with all your scraps. But I, of course, am using skeins from the shop so that I could get the right amounts and kit it up. So that's his version right there. Very bright, very colorful. And I am not doing that. So let's see, is this the point? Yes, this is the bottom. So I started here. You can see my version is going to be all of the Suburban Stitcher light pale neutrals and speckles, because I wanted a very plain light neutral one, and then my pop of color in between is this pink. So the first 4 sections use mini skeins. So this is Rorschach. This one is March Hare. And I have, let's see, which one is which? This is Whisper. It's kind of a very, very barely there light gray. And then this one is Overcast, which is a barely there light bluish gray. You can't really tell the difference until if you really get close and look at them, then you can. I totally messed up right here, but I don't care. And then this section, which was the first really big section, is knit using La Boheme. So I'm very pleased with the color. Oh, and the pink is my Lanyap color. And that is all of the dividing sections. So that's the thing that's going to sort of unify this whole thing. I love how it's working up. My plan is for the last 2 colors to use Doily for one and Nudie Patootie for the other. So I just need to either dye them up or steal them from the shop, and that will be that. So that one is good. It's great. It was super great travel knitting, super great, like mindless when you just need to knit without having to think. Okay, so on this picture, I've done through section 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I've done 5, and then I need to do 6 and 7. And I think there's an I-cord top edge. Probably, yeah, that's the bind off, the I-cord top edge. So that'll be super fun. Yeah, so I'm loving my neutral Diane version of this shawl. So that is something that I worked on. What else have I pulled out? Oh yes, I have done quite a bit of work on my Pangera top. And this is knit out of Suburban Stitcher yarn in the Bang Bang and Curry colorways. I think right now I'm still knitting in the round, the plain stockinette, and I have to get to, I think I have to knit to 10 inches, and I'm at a little over 8. So I still have a few more inches to go. This is kind of one that I try to put a round or 2 on every day. I've had a little bit of wrist pain, kind of getting back into work this week. And also I was doing a bunch of knitting. I also was doing a little bit of crocheting, and that worries me that there's something in the crochet way I'm gripping or something that maybe I'm doing incorrectly, because that was a motion that started my thumb. It's like this joint right here. Started both of them being very sore. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but anyway. So I've had to take it a little bit easy on the knitting the last several days, but that's fine because I've been coming back and doing inventory and mostly just not working at breakneck speed, which is amazing. So that is a project that I've worked on. Told you I've worked on a million things. And then the last thing that I have worked on that I've done quite a few rows on, you've seen it 80,000 times, but I'm getting so close, is my What the Fade. And I started this almost 2 years ago, September 2017, when it was still a mystery. This was after I met Andrea for the first time and took a class from her. And yeah, so here it is. It's all Hedgehog Fibers yarns. I am working on the 5th color out of 6 in the border. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing on the screen. I love it so much. Yeah. So I'm just plugging away on this one. This one is definitely quota knitting. I think I have figured out that I have 40 rows left. Even if I just did 1 row a day, it would be done next month. And if I did 2 rows a day, it would also be done next month, but sooner. So I'm trying to do at least 1, if not 2 rows a day. I would love to have it finished, just sort of my weird personal goal, I guess, is to have it finished before the 2-year mark from when I started this project. That would be super great. Again, kind of an arbitrary goal, except for that not, because it is a specific date, but there's no reason I need to have it done by then, other than that would just be nice. So I feel like this is maybe going to be a long episode. Maybe it won't be. I'm not really sure. That's pretty much what I've been working on. I can't think of any other major projects. I have literally about 9 or 10 that are like laid out in various spots around my craft room, waiting for me to finish up a few more things so that I can start 1 or 2 of them. Because it just feels very, very self-indulgent to start too many. I've done so good the last few years keeping my numbers a little bit lower on my whips, and low for me is not low for most people, I'm sure, but yeah, so I've really been trying hard, and I want to keep that up. So I'm not starting anything new. Okay, so since we spoke last, I have been to SSK, been to the SSK market. Thank you so much to everyone who came and shopped and visited with Mr. Stitcher and I. That was the first show that he has ever done with me, which was amazing. He's my rock anyway. But it was super awesome for y'all to get to meet him and for him to get to see customers and get to see what I do every day, and see the people getting excited about the product that we make. So that was really exciting. And if you were someone that shopped with me, thank you so, so much. You just made that so special. I got to meet Susan of Desert Vista Dye Works, which was such a treat because I have purchased her yarn long before I was a yarn dyer. Some of my very, very, very first self-striping yarn, it was her yarn, Cherie, Kirby Werby, Desert Vista, and Mustache. And I can say that all three of these ladies I have not only met, but that we are friends and can chat, and that was just such a treat to me. It's an amazingly humbling feeling to be an artist, a vendor, whatever label I want to put on myself, in that sort of setting where that marketplace is handpicked. The people they handpick the people that they want to be there, that they feel best represent what their customers want to see, what best represents current happenings in the community. And so to have been chosen for that, to have worked so hard to get there, it was the Knit Girls video podcast on YouTube was the first video knitting podcast that I ever watched. And so it was kind of amazing to years and years and years later be vending at their retreat. It just felt very humbling. And that room is so full of makers and sellers and everybody that has just poured their heart and soul into either the items that they're selling or the customers who are wearing beautiful hand knitted or crocheted or woven things. It is just such a richly talented room. And I had this whoa moment while I was there in front of a customer. And if that was you, I'm so sorry. I feel like I embarrassed myself a little bit, but it literally, I was just had this 10 seconds where I looked around and just saw the people and the talent and the art in this one little space. And I was completely overcome with wow, just feeling so lucky that I got to be part of it. So anyway, that was amazing. And if you were there and helped make that day completely amazing for me and my family, I am so appreciative. And one thing that I also want to mention is the Laura and Leslie have always put on a great show being SSK retreat show. And in light of all of the topics and conversations that are happening in our community, and in particular after the most recent kind of conversation that happened a few weeks ago after an incident at another retreat, just a week and a half ago, another fiber event. They made sure that everybody felt safe. They gathered us all together as vendors, and just to reassure everyone that there was an expectation on their end that they were going to walk around vigilantly and make sure that customers and vendors all felt safe in that room and in that space. And I thought that they could not have handled it more professionally. It was amazing. So I just want to say thank you to them for being such an example of what, it's a small event compared to big, huge, you know, national shows and international shows, but just that if a small event can do it, then a big event can do it too. So I just thought that was really awesome. So I know you want to see what I got at the marketplace. I need to preface this by saying, if you've watched me for years and years and years, like many of you have, I am a unashamed wool and yarn lover. I just love it. I dye my own yarn that I love and I knit with all the time. But I love hand-dyed yarn, guys, and I'm just not gonna apologize for that. So, I told myself and I told Josh that it has to fit in this bag. Now, this is an Erin-sized project bag, Erin-sized sweater bag. Huge. It's enormous. It is the size of a couch cushion, basically. But it all had to fit in here, and there's still, like, I can fold it over. There's still totally room. I could have gotten more. I can't fold it over a lot, but it's not packed full, is what I'm saying. So this was the official SSK bag from the Fat Squirrel. And so I had pre-ordered that. So let's go. So I got this bag, and then when I went to go pick it up, I was looking at Amy Beth's booth, and this bag was sitting there, and I was like, well, that's just gonna have to come home with me because it is, first of all, it's beautiful. And I was wearing these exact colors, this kind of mauve-y pink, a dark charcoal gray, and then metallic gold. And they look like little, they're not yarn balls, they're just like a graphic circle, but it sort of is like an abstract yarn ball, in my opinion. And then with, of course, her plain like duck lining, which I love. So that bag and the big doozy. I got, let's see, what did I get first? Okay, so let's talk about this. I don't remember what order I got everything in, and it doesn't really matter, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I got 2 skeins from Desert Vista Dye Works. I haven't gotten her yarn in so long, and these are the princess skeins that go with the little charms that I've been getting every month. So this is, oh, and I got her enamel pin. So that's super cute, the little cactus. And these are both on the sparkle base because princesses must sparkle. This is Beauty and the Zombody for Beauty and the Beast. And this is, where does this one say? Cinder Zombody. So Cinderella. So those will be some socks someday. Not even gonna lie and pretend like it might happen soon. It probably won't. Okay, so then I got to meet Tristan and Christy from Dragon Horde and Yarn Cafe Creations. That was super fun. So from Tristan, I got this skein of, this is her sparkle base, called her Sprite Fingering, which is a gold stellina. The colorway is Sky Nymph, and I don't know if this color will show all the nuances, but there's this really pale, barely there, like sky blue with kind of a blush pink and a taupe. And then it's got these amazing speckles of like a brown and some greens. Sorry guys, that's my ringtone, my favorite murder. Yeah, so it's got some really pretty speckles in here, and I love it. I think she's knitting with this one right now, so if you want to see it knit up, it's on her Instagram page. And then I got 2 sets of minis from her. Her Mythology mini set. You can kind of see the colors there. And the Tartarus mini set. So these are like the light colors and the dark colors. I don't know anything about nymphs or fairies or anything like that. I just like the colors. So I got them. And then from Christy, I got, she put together these little mini faves, which were so beautiful. Totally my jam. I don't know if any of these colors repeat. They totally might, but I didn't care. I just liked them. So this is Yarn Cafe Creations. She doesn't have them labeled, but they're, I mean, she has the colorways on the back here, but they're not like a named set. So that was one, kind of corals and some yellows. And this one was greens and blues. So I got those 2 minis, and I got this skein from her that I have been eyeing on her Instagram and her webpage, and I'm so excited to get it. It's called Henna, and it is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon on her biscotti fingering weight. And it is, gosh, that is a really good color representation. It is so beautiful. I just love it. So that I got, and then the last thing, I got to meet Stacy of Stress Knits. And I feel like if you're going to get Stress Knits, then you have to get Sweet Disposition. So I did. I bought some yarn to make a Bennett Sisters shawl. Another completely indulgent knit. So this, I got her singles, 2 skeins on her singles, and 1 halo, which is her mohair silk. And it's all the same color. So that was super exciting. So that was my acquisitions from SSK. I cannot wait to cast something on. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to have to be something soon, because I'm just, whoa. I just turned on my skein twister. I'm super excited by all of it. Oh, I mentioned that I was crocheting earlier. I started a stripe blanket. I got some Koigu while I was out of town a few weeks ago. And so I started this blanket while I was out of town. And then the sweet, sweet friend sent me some Koigu that she had that she wasn't using. And so I'm going to add some stripes of that into this blanket too. I'm just making it lap sized so you can see that it's it's only like this wide. It's not going to be super wide. It's just wide enough to cover me while I'm sitting on the couch or the chair, and to look cute when it's draped over something. Because I knew that if I made it any bigger than it really needed to be, it would never get done. But again, I'm having that pain in my joints. So I'm hoping that if I'm not going to crochet for a little while, I'm not overdoing it on the knitting. I'm just kind of trying to listen to my body right now and rest and be thoughtful about what I'm doing. So thoughtful in life and in crafting. Really. So yeah, so that, thank you to my friend who sent me these. You know who you are. Thank you so much. You are so generous and sweet to think of me. And they're perfect because most of the Koigu that I have is very light. And so dropping in a row or two every now and then of this dark color is going to make a great contrast. And I already love how it's working up with this color that I got. I love, love, love this color. I don't remember what it is. I know it's a limited edition Koigu color, but that's all I can tell you. I feel like it's something autumnal though. leaves, maybe autumn, maybe leaves. I don't know, but it's stunning. Okay. So I feel like that's pretty much all of my knitting, all of my crafting. I do want to show you and talk about a couple of things that are going in the shop. They might already be there. Probably, hopefully, they will be in there by the time this goes live. So let's talk about some shop news. Okay, so back in January, many of you remember that I did the Peach Collective. That was so much fun. I made it with several other makers, bag makers, and Siri just told me to breathe because I got apparently out of breath while moving in a chair. Fabulous. There were markers and bags and yarn and stickers and so many fun things. And so I have done another collective with a couple of other makers. I'm very excited about it. I have been saying that this was coming for months and months. I got the logo made and so many of the items I've literally had in my possession for 2 months because I just kept thinking, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it up. And then life and show prep and life has just, I didn't want to do it when I knew that I would not be able to get yarn to you in a decent amount of time. But now is the time that we can focus on this. So the little logo that I sneak peeked on Instagram, and many of you guessed that it was going to be honeycomb or bee themed, and you were right. So these are those little vinyl stickers that will go out with the first however many orders until I run out of them. So if you want something, get them soon. The theme is bees. It's a bee collective, a honey collective. And so here are the items. I worked with, of course I picked the one bag that I wrinkled up. I worked with Christina of Birch Grove. I absolutely love her bags, and we picked out this fabric that has the honeycomb and the little bees. I just think it's so beautiful. It does a great job at showing her aesthetic and my aesthetic. Linen bottoms. It's got mohair all over it. Beautiful leather drawstrings with the beads that she puts on there. Seriously, there is mohair everywhere. It's because I just photographed all the mohair. So that is the bag. Then the seriously cute Progress Keeper that we made. This is also a custom item, is from Simply Serving. And it is a macaron that is in a hexagon shaped, honey colored hexagon shaped macaron with a bee on it. Seriously the cutest thing ever. So we got that. And then we have 2 brand new yarn colors. So we have, the first one is honeycomb. And it is just a gorgeous golden yellow tonal. So pretty. It is very much, so like this, it's a little more honey colored than the bag. So this bag is kind of yellow and this is much more honey amber color. And then bees, of course, need pollen from wildflowers to make their honey. And so we have a wildflowers colorway. And this is just a beautiful tonal. No 2 skeins are the same or even close to the same. So it is truly one of a kind of tonal colors in the background, but also with some speckling. I'm gonna look and see if I had one to show. Here's another one. You can see they're like cousins, definitely not twins. So that is the collective. There are still, I sold some at SSK, and there are still some left of all of the items, and then the yarn will be up for pre-order as well. So like I said, I hope by the time you're watching this, that should already be live in the shop. And everything, unless you are ordering yarn that I don't have in stock, I have some that's in stock ready to ship, but if you're ordering it on a base that isn't already dyed, then there may be a little bit of a wait, but for the most part, it is ready to ship. I have all of the items from other makers in hand. So all of the bags, all of the markers, we're not waiting on anything like that. So I'm so excited. And again, you'll get a little sticker if you're one of the early purchasers until I run out of these. These are those nice vinyl ones that you can put on water bottles. And then there might be some other little goodies too for people that get in early on the order. So that is the B Collective. And as far as other shop news, I have been loading, every day I'm loading in more and more of the stock from SSK. It has been months and months and months and months since we have had any sort of big amount of stock in the shop. I have already put in well over 100 skeins of singles, probably close to 100 skeins of mohair, and over the next day or two I will be loading in DK and sock and Surrey alpaca. So keep your eyes peeled. If you are looking for a specific color and you don't see it yet, go ahead and place those custom orders. I have no minimums on custom orders. I get that question a lot. There is no minimum order. So if you want one skein of something, you are absolutely welcome to place a custom order for it. And I will make sure that that gets to you usually within a couple of weeks. Very rarely does it go over that. And I love doing that because then I know that you're getting exactly what you want. Yeah. There are so many options in the shop right now for love note sweaters. I have to say that I have one particular combo that is, I have one already that I've pulled for myself to make a personal one, but I have this other yarn color combo that is like one color of single ply and a different color of mohair that I think would make the most beautiful, I can't get it out of my head. I keep looking at the yarn, which is why I'm looking over here. So if you are looking to make a love note, a ranunculus, so many color combinations for if you wanted to hold singles and mohair together for a ranunculus sweater. I have lots of other kits, kind of the kits that have remained after I've done my whole big show circuit for the spring and the summer. I have lots of kits still available, so I will be adding kits back into the shop as well. So those are some things that are kitted up yarns that are exactly like the sample shawls that I carry with me to shows. So there are Sea Gleam kits in the shop right now that are ready to ship. I will be putting some knit and slide kits that are ready to ship, and then I'll be putting some Evolve kits in there as well. So that's really exciting. I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm so excited to have this chance to sit down and chat with you guys again. I hope that now I'm home for a few weeks, I'll be able to chat a little bit more often instead of once a month, which is what it's been for the last several months. Thank you to everybody who watches. Thank you for your support of me and my family. And I will see you next time. Bye.